Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhaṃ Dhammang Sanghaṃ Namasami. This is a full moon day of June, and just before evening puja started, I was walking along the lane in front of the monastery. It's quite a beautiful, pleasant evening. I'm not good at names of crops, but barley or rye, those are just growing well. I didn't notice for some time, but definitely seasons are changing from spring to early summertime. And my intention of walking there is also kind of reflecting what I would share for this evening. And recently, actually quite some time, the theme I have in me is something like the world and monastic training. I think because I've been to Japan so frequently recently. I'm not necessarily being outside the monastery or where I stay so often, but once I am there, I'm more psychologically exposed to the world. When you are in the monastery like this, it's really physically and what's the word? Well, in many ways, I feel protected. So when I'm in Japan, naturally, I think of the world, how it is, more often. And then when I come back here, it's already more than 2 months since I came back from Japan, beginning of April. I really appreciate how the monastery is, and then also what is really our life here is, particularly in the context of training. And when I think of the world, it's quite a big term, but one word came up to my mind. Maybe I'm oversimplifying it, but I feel like the world, people in the world are getting weaker. It's just my one-sided view of it. But when I say weak, it means it is true in the world there are so many things, abundance, material wealth. I mean, it's true, although some part of the world, like here, we're really having so many material things, but of course, it's not necessarily the case. Some part of the world, sheer poverty is very, very serious. So, if I need to speak very precisely, it's not correct, but still just very generally speaking, compared to decades ago, centuries ago, more and more materials, things are available, as well as information, knowledge. So on the internet, social media, we don't have to think, and this is very obvious, more things, more informations. But then I like to say, actually the mind of people are getting weaker. For instance, big example, right now it's a serious conflict, fight, even war, and there are various levels in a society, from the community to the level of nations. Unfortunately, fights, conflict are more and then heavier, and then fighting for whatever the reason is the who is stronger, which side is more mighty. This is a very strong element in the world, and then people really put effort, everything to be stronger. Or in a different level, we want to conquer the debate. We want to be clever. We want to find. We want to be eloquent, more knowledgeable, so that our view will be more accepted. Actually, we win the debate. We win we will be the right side. They are wrong. We want to really make it that everybody agrees with that. So in that way, often we identify the word strong, in a sense, from the physical strengths to ideas, how you can express yourself, how you can convince others, how eloquent you are, how knowledgeable you are, this kind of way of being strong in ideas, opinions, concept, and so forth. But when I say, actually, in fact, people in the world might be getting weaker, because when I say strength or strong, it's more, I mean more to do with the capacity to accommodate something we do not like, something we do not agree, something we do not understand. But actually, when we miss something, when we need something, when we have certain ideas, just if we don't have any reflective mind, if we do not know what is actually to reflect, then mind just goes, how can I get it? How can I get more? How can I remove it? How can make it? This kind of way, just without any reflective space around. And we think this is the way we become stronger. But then the result is perspective around is getting narrower, narrower, and then naturally for two parties or many people to meet is become more and more difficult, and then the conflict and so forth is inevitable. Actually, this is many years ago. How many years ago? 35 years ago. I was still a junior monk, and I had a chance to spend some time at the Mahayana temple in Tokyo. Those days, computers, just the beginning of it, personal computer, laptop, that kind of thing is almost just the beginning of it. I never touched it. And when I was staying, where I was staying, there's a very young Japanese Mahayana monk. Probably he finished university and about early 20s. He was very kind, friendly, nice person. And I don't remember exactly how it was, but he was probably helping me something to do with computer, which he was familiar and I wasn't at all. So he was doing something. And those days, computers are, compared to now, it's very, very slow and inconvenient, but still, that was how computer was. And we didn't think it was slow, anything like this. Still, yes, fascinating, possibly something very convenient. So he was helping me. But soon something became stuck. And what I saw then was his temper immediately changed. It was really a surprise to me. Until then, as I said, he was very kind, gentle and friendly. Nice person, nice young man. But then as soon as he sees something is not working well, something is not, that's not something, the computer was not functioning as he wanted, slow or couldn't find the answer. And that immediate change of how he was, losing a temper is probably, it's not like a shouting or anything like this, but more than for him to become restless, but really I felt like, I never seen him like this, almost like a different person. And this was a strong experience to me, so I still remember this. And when I'm saying strength of the mind, and or different ways to say capacity to accommodate any sense of uneasiness, discomfort, this kind of unpleasant feeling that arises in our heart, in many ways, possibly in many ways, but how he was really made me think, wow, this is something quite interesting. And today, when I say the strength, when people actually possibly getting weaker, this is exactly the same thing. And when I came back from Japan, and that was beginning of April, and when I sat in a new sala, one of the first one morning, just like this morning, we sat together and the various announcements were made. More announcements than today, quite a number of them. I was sitting, just listening or feeling how it was. And interesting, quite variety of announcements were made in different ways. Some people spoke quite some time, others short, fast, slow, relatively clear, possibly not clear, and then different pronunciation, different styles. So it's and then I can see if you think of you don't like, or if you think of efficient meeting, more like a proper professional business meeting, it wasn't like that at all. But everybody was sitting there quietly paying attention to everybody's announcement, just like today. And then one word that came up to my mind was tolerant. Yeah, it's not like you have to tolerate, but naturally I felt we were tolerating each other, quite a difference, not just a naturality or ages, but different character, different way to express ourselves. We can easily say, this is good, this is not necessary, but I think this environment we're learning, just learning how to be tolerant. I can say I was impressed. So now I'm saying the world and then what's happening in the monastery, what we are learning. About a month ago, I had the opportunity to share reflection from this seat, I talked about, I think, when I came to Wat Pah Nachat International Forest Monastery in Ubon. That was the very beginning of monastic career life at the monastery. I arrived there as a backpacker, as a lay person, and then the first word I received from one of the senior monks then was, get the mind strong. In details, when I was told this phrase, I didn't like it, because being the youth, I had a very strong, you may say, idea. The strong exploits the weak. So I didn't particularly like the word strong, possibly more against rebellious side. Rebellious side in me can come out very easily. So probably I showed it on my face. So the monk changed his phrase to say, "Oh, purify the mind." I liked it. Purity, pure, suited, how I thought them. But having lived, or having been living in a monastery, I think the word "get the mind strong" is really the right expression. When we live in a monastery, I've been saying that this style at the Ajahn monasteries, it is kind of designed to experience various discomfort, unpleasant experiences by having various routines. It's not just Vinaya structures only, but routines, morning, evening meetings, working together. So whether you like or not, we do. So naturally it becomes a mirror to experience what's happening in our heart, in our mind. Ideas, thought, feelings, even emotions. Small ones to quite difficult ones. And when we think of what are we doing here, what we are learning here, or what is the training? Training is a quite strong word, but this is a place for training. It's not just like finding a peace or finding something reasonable. We can't live through with that kind of easy set-up mind. As I believe many of us, particularly monastics, we know this life is not too easy, and it requires certain clear amount of understanding and willingness to learn, willingness to train ourselves. So in that sense, the word to be strong or get the mind strong is really right. I have to say, just like how I was, people may not like the phrase. People like to hear more like, oh, more compassionate, kind. That kind of word I like to, but I like to say once more, the life here is not necessarily that easy. And when it comes to that point, we need to learn why we are here, and also where we can find a true refuge. So in this context, one word also came up to my mind. This is the word the Upajjhaya, the preceptor, will say at the end of the ceremony. In this end of this month, Samana Alameda, we'll have a Upasampada, the full ordination, for him to be accepted as a bhikkhu. And then, ordination ceremony just continues. And then once he is accepted as a bhikkhu, as a first thing, as a Upajjhaya or preceptor, he will give instructions for support, about 4 requisites, and 4 things never to be done. And the last part, the last part of first instruction goes to area how we practice in the light of Sila Samadhi Panya. And the very last line says, I forgot the Pali word, but the English word goes, thus should you strive with diligence. And Lumpo Osmedo, now he stopped being Upajjhaya quite some time ago, but when I start living at Amaravati, he was still functioning as a Upajjhaya. And then at the end of the ceremony, he will say this. It's not like his own word, because Upajjhaya text has already established text. So what I said about the 4 support, 4 things not to be done, and then so forth. All text just it's established, and then Upajjhaya, in this case Lumpo Smedo, will just read out. But still at the very end, when Lumpo Smedo says, thus should you strive with diligence. It's also quite powerful word to hear. Upasampada ceremony itself is a quite significant ceremony, and even those who already ordained will see the opportunity as a reflecting why we are here. And then that's a formal ceremony has a significant element to it. And then the last sentence is, thus should you strive with diligence. When Lumpo Smedo said this, wow, it's a quite a powerful word, so I still remember it. And we need to be careful about it. It's not like one word itself can be interpreted as we have to do some very heroic experience, very special practice. We have to work hard as much as possible, a very unusual practice, eating less, sleeping less, and then this. We can think in that way, but really this word we need to interpret in a more wisdom-oriented way. In fact, to me, to reflect on this word, this phrase, it's been changing. Probably when I first heard, possibly in Thailand, my take on it is more like, okay, you need to really work hard. It's like more like applying a youth energy to a special practice. The more, the better. That kind of attitude. But once you live in the monastery longer, start to learn what really means, then this phrase, strive, thus should you strive with diligence. The word strive, diligence can mean quite strong, something very strong, but what actually does actually mean? I think one example, or actually what it means, is when we live in a monastic training, we will experience many things. Something very uplifting, promising, and you may say very positive experiences, but also sometimes totally opposite, confusing, disappointing, or making us really angry, or confusing, many kinds. So when we experience any of this is a time we need to learn where there's a real refuge. if we look at anything agreeable, anything tasty, anything very nice as our practice and we are progressing, and if others' side happens, that's it. It's not working. So that way of thinking, making judgment or concluding, this is how we identify ourselves with our feeling and thoughts. And this is in the world, everybody does. That's why I'm saying the world may be abundant of things, material things, to the information, everything, so convenient, so many things, and so forth. But because if we do not have, if we do not know what is reflective mind, then we just identify ourselves with this, what we have, thinking, feelings, and the possible result is when you get what we want, we feel happy and we say success, or we are making it, progressing it, and then when we experience the opposite, no, it's not working. So just a word of success and failure. It's really the nature of samsara. And this is how the world, and we just follow it more and more. The result, my very simplified way of saying it is, it makes our mind weak. And the result is more conflict in the world. Horrible conflict, painful conflict from the level of individual to communities, to the countries. But we are here to see things in a very different way. So that's why it becomes a challenge, but it's worthwhile to try. So I repeat again, thus should you strive with diligence. So when we have the challenges, many kinds of challenges, I don't have to explain what's the challenge, particularly you are in the monastics already. But when we have these challenges, this is a time we can learn. This is a time what training means, particularly with the virtue of patience. Kanti paramanta potitika, or the patimokkha. The first line, is it the first line? The Nibbana Paramam Kanti Paramanta Potitika. So Nibbana is supreme, right? Total freedom is supreme, no doubt about it. But the second line, the Buddha says, Kanti Paramanta Potitika. Kanti is a utmost supreme practice. And so this is the time we really need to reflect what is kanti or patience. Again, once more, probably in the world, nobody wants to talk about patience. Everybody knows the word, but it's not popular at all. If you talk about the patience, everybody probably walks away. But once you come to the monastery, this is what matters. When I was in Thailand, many times, almost like a daily, I heard the word "ottonan," be patient. Ottonan. Even if you look at the Buddhist books, I don't know how much this aspect, kanti or patience, is actually explained or taught. It may have more explanation of mind aspect, this and that, how you meditate and this and that. But in fact, once you come to practice, once our being is challenged, our habitual way of thinking and everything is challenged, this single virtue of patience is really becomes matter. So it's not necessarily written in a book to say nothing of what they say in the world, but to come to the word training. This patience matters. What is patience? When we feel we can't be patient anymore, the word impatience, we feel like really I can't bear anymore. So that's the time we really know what patience means. It's not like just a word you find in a dictionary or somebody's talking about or monks are talking about. Once you come to live, this is an essential matter. But this is really the mind aspect that supports us. That's why Buddha said Nibbana is supreme, but the second line, Kanti Paramanta Bodhitika. This is I always remember, and then really we have to come back to this regularly. Sorry, when I was in Thailand, really is this word ottona, be patient. And it's not like a forcing. When I heard this word ottona, it's not like a forced way you have to bear regardless what. It's not like a forcing, commanding way, but the way the word phrase ottona was said was also like a kindness. I hope that when I say ottona, this is because the person who says often, this is the teacher, so someone senior to you, someone who has lived longer in the monastic life, monastic training, he knows how painful it is, how difficult it is, how challenging it is. That's why when he says ottona, it's not like just somebody telling others to say you got to do, but it is really coming from the place of compassion and understanding. So when I say kanti or patience, it's not necessarily just suppressing anything or forcing ourselves to be one way or another, but definitely significant element there is kindness. When I talk about patience, and not only here, I often mention it. And then just naturally, nature of the language, patience is seen as something very tight, heavy. People may understand, agree, but can be seen as something heavy or difficult. It doesn't appeal so much. But actually, what I want to say is this patience is almost like a synonym to kindness. So when we say be patient with ourselves, means be patient with, be kind to ourselves or to kind with ourselves. And the monastery is a safe place to learn how to be patient. Again, I'm maybe too one-sided or too simplifying way of saying it, but in the world, people, the world, society does not wait for us. So to be patient is not easy or possibly not possible or not safe. You need to get the answer. You need to prove yourselves as soon as possible. If you're late, that's it. You can't join this kind of very strong element. But the monastery is a safe place to be patient. We are very good at allowing ourselves to be patient, to wait. It's almost like, it's like actually meditation itself. When so I said how to be in the monastery, I was told to get the mind strong, and also quoted the phrase thus: should you strive with diligence? And the people say, and also I mentioned about the virtue of patience, kanti. But still, people say how actually we can practice, how we can learn. And I can extend the theme a little bit more. Now, when we think of the practice or path, often almost everybody would think of Eightfold Noble Path. And in a summarized way, we say Sila, Samadhi, Panya. So what is Sila, Samadhi, Panya? This is the way how we practice. And then if you read the book, it's a thorough explanation, or in the suttas too. But Rinpoche's explanation I learned, I want to share tonight. When I was a junior monk, I had 3 vassa, between 3 and 4 vassa, just this time of the year, maybe April, May, that kind of time before the vassa. I was staying at Rinpoche's monastery in Ubon. Rinpoche is one of the most senior monk in Wat Papon community now. He came to Amaravati last year for the occasion Rinpoche made his 90 years birthday. It was his first visit to UK. And Ajahn Jayasaro, Ajahn Kalyana in Australia, those Ajahns spent, when they are junior monk, those people spend some time at Rinpoche's place. So I thought, okay, I want to try it out. It's a very simple place in a rural area of Ubon province. It's not like in a very deep jungle or a very remote area, but quite small monastery in a rural area, and then Rinpoche, and one monk, one novice. Very small size of a community when I was there. Even another monk left, so often I was just Rinpoche, one novice, and myself. And I stayed at this monastery for 1 month. I couldn't speak Thai much then, and Rinpoche doesn't speak English. So, and just simple routine every day, one again and again, and now no particular project is happening either. So simple routine for 1 month, and there, just like other monasteries in Thailand, strictly once meal a day. Go to Bintabat, mainly sticky rice. It's really staple in Isan, Northeast Thailand, almost like staples for Kuba Ajahns, meditation masters in Isan. So that's main thing, and some other curries and so forth. Again, very simple meal, once meal a day. And chores is not that much, and the work is not much. And in the afternoon, I think 3 or 4 o'clock, the bell is rung at Rinpoche's kuti, and I would go just. It's a 2-story building, and I go underneath his room, and the 3 of us sat together, Rinpoche, myself, and one novice. We can't say anything because no language there. And so this is a tea time, not like here. Many things, choice of this this kind of drink, that kind of drink, and with this chocolate, and I don't have to name all of this, nothing like this. Just one cup of coffee. Size of cup is not like a gigantic mug you may have, but just a quite humble size of cup. And then I think a novice will make a coffee, black coffee for me, and they put the sugar. Then I have it quietly, taking time. Every sip means a lot to me, and I drink. When I finish it, soon, sometime after, Lumpur say, "How Ikmai? Do you want to have another one?" My cup, I'm okay. Of course, I wanted to have more, but this is how we've been conditioned. I'm okay. So this is everyday tea time. So 1 month I was there, but he gave me one short Dhamma, not really reflection, but shared with me the Dhamma verse. This is Rinpoche's talked about Sila, Samadhi, Panya. I go with the Thai first. Sing,คือไม่มีบาป สมาธิไม่มีนิวรณ์ปัญญาไม่มีทุกข์ So Sila is without unwholesomeness, unskillfulness. Samadhi without nivarana, hindrances. And Panya without dukkha, suffering. So Sila without unwholesomeness, this is for us, it's gives us a boundary. We live here, different characters, different background and everything, but we can't trust each other. Even we can make mistakes. I have to be careful of my speech, but the trust is there because we know everybody commit to this Sila. Nobody intends to do anything unskillful. We can make mistakes, but we are careful about it and a commitment to the Sila aspect. So Sila is Maimi Bhav. So without unwholesomeness or unskillfulness. So like just before this talk, people took 8 precepts. Precept is every single precept goes Veramani, refraining from. It's not like you do something special that's moral. No. Sila means refraining from anything unskillful. So that's the nature of Sila. So Rinpoche said, sing Maimi Bhav. Without Sila, without unskillfulness or unwholesomeness. Second, Samadhi, Maimi Nivan, Samadhi without Nivarana, hindrances. It's not the time to go through all the list of Nivarana, 5 of them. In detail, but I have to say 5 of them is Kama, Chanta, sense desire, ill will, restlessness, doubt, and sloth and torpor, or laziness. So 5 of them. This is more to do with meditation often, because you see, what is Samadhi? This word is very good, because Samadhi, people talk about Samadhi, what is Samadhi? Oh, concentration, something special, this and that. But what Samadhi is without Nivarana. You can imagine 5 of them. No ill will, no sense desire, no ill will, no doubt, no restlessness, no laziness or sleepiness. So mind, how it is like? It is clear. If you like, one-pointed. So hindrances, nivarana, in English translated as hindrances. And so that hindrances, the one hinders the mind from being clear or one-pointedness. And also the other way around, what is samadhi? Then you can imagine very clearly, absence without any five of this. Just naturally so clear. You know, if you think one-pointedness, something very special, or how it is like, very, very special experience. But absence of five gives a very clear idea what the samadhi is. And then the panya, maimi, took without suffering. So now people can think, and often people can talk about the Sila, Samadhi, Panya as a stepwise or linear way of practice. Okay, make the Sila perfect first, then Samadhi comes, and accomplish the Samadhi, then wisdom comes. Eventually, liberation is achieved. This is a linear way of thinking. Quite easy to understand by usual way of thinking, because mind function likes to do linear way of thinking. The other way to say, if it is not linear, mind doesn't like it. Mind doesn't know how to perceive it. But then intuition and reflection comes to matter. So if we think this matter of absence of unskillfulness or absence of hindrances, absence of suffering, as if we have to get rid of them one by one, as if there's something wrong, problems, so that we have to get rid of them. That is a practice. And then the more we remove them, we get closer, so that we have to clean everything. Mind can think like this. And then people can say, wow, this is too much hard work. Because once you come to the monastery, what we experience is so many hindrances. You see, these 5 things in the world, people probably they wouldn't see as hindrances as such. Because sense desire, this is, they just drive them for finding something. Ill will, this is very strong in the society. This is how people fight, and they identify this is significant. We can't forgive. This is right. That is totally unacceptable, that way. And talking of the restlessness, doubt, low energy, sleepiness. What are you talking about? So it's that the world is totally different. But once you come to this safe environment, or once you actually meditate, then we'll see the more detailed, if you like, defined aspect of the mind, how mind affects us, how these hindrances happen in our mind. So once we start living in the monastery, all these 5 become so active. We start noticing, and sometimes we feel overwhelmed, we feel discouraged. If we think we have to get rid of all of this, hard work, impossible. But what we need to learn is not like about seeing them as an enemy or problem and try to remove them, get clear any of them, and we will be safe. Not like this. But what is refuge? How we see it. So this is coming back to the question of should you strive with diligence? So how we look at these experiences, hindrances, becomes very apparent once you come to the monastery, even to become ordained. But if we identify ourselves with Nivarana as something wrong, something we have to overcome, get rid of. So this is then we become born in a world of fighting with the conditions. But what we need to learn is third one, Panya. What is Panya? Wisdom is without suffering. This is the really essence, core of Buddha's teaching. This is the essence of what we are learning, what we are training ourselves for. It's not when we hear the wisdom, often we think of the knowledge, how much we know. This is the Dhamma, 84,000 Dhammas. It is said, it is true. So it is the case, Panya, wisdom means we remember 84,000 Dhammas, down one by one. If we know everything, that is the wisdom. So it is about the Buddhist encyclopedia. Or, so just when we hear the word wisdom, often the quantity of information, or how knowledgeable, how clever, how good you explain it, this is how we may interpret the word Panya, wisdom. But Rinpoche's word Panya, Maimi, took wisdom, is without suffering. So it's a totally different thing. And now this is the really essence. It's not about particular knowledge, this and that, about things. But this is no suffering. So that's the essence of Four Noble Truths. Like when Lumpur Pasana is away, last 2 to 3 weeks, I've been reading Lumpur Smedo's Dhamma book, 5 minutes every day. And I have to say, thank you very much for bearing with me, because when I was encouraged to read, not just because I am shy, but also I am aware of my accent, Japanese accent and my own accent, so I felt a little uneasy about it. But I knew that the teaching is so variable, so okay, just I let go all this, my small hesitating tendency. So I was reading it, and I read with people loudly, and I really recognize every piece. It is just a 5 minutes reading, but even one section, every section is like a straight there, Panya, without suffering. It's not like a very much full of information, no. Sometimes he goes to some stories, but just stories. But once it comes to teaching, it's not like this concept, this word, and after you hear this, you learn more, and what is the next chapter? I come to second level, and then now I'm the intermediate, and therefore now I'm ready to not like this at all, but every single section, every piece is just immediately there to the point, this Panya without suffering. So when I read it, when I read it, just it really brings me what is the word? Probably joy. So Rinpoche's teaching, Sila, Samadhi, Panya, this is in the Buddhist world, everybody knows Sila, Samadhi, Panya. It's a summarized way of our practice. And then we are practicing in the light of Sila, Samadhi, Panya, we can say. But still it can mean too many or not clear. But to me at least, Rinpoche's summarizing or pointing to the essence is Sila, is without unwholesomeness. This gives us a clear boundary, safe boundary, where we can trust each other. And then second one, samadhi, without nivarana, without hindrances. That means what we are going to experience in the monastery, in the safe, peaceful environment where everybody commit to us, themselves to learn what is the true peace, what is a true what is a liberation. And then yet we constantly experience these 5 hindrances: sense, desire, ill will, restlessness, doubt, and laziness, sleepiness. So we experience all of this regularly, sometimes very strong, overwhelming ways, sometimes maybe easier to handle, sometimes not much, and you feel like really satisfying. But this is the place we need to learn. Whether we become identified with them as a my problem, therefore I'm not a good meditator, I'm not a good monk, I'm not a good practitioner, or learn to know where is safe place or where is the right refuge. So then the word, like if I quote Lumpo, Smedo's teaching, consciousness, awareness, mindfulness, these words really start meaning properly. And then, yes, the third one, panya, its essence. The Buddha's teaching, Buddhism, is wisdom teaching. It's not about the thinking, but non-suffering. What is non-suffering? So when we come to each time when we come to challenge where to stand, how to respond to each situation, whether to follow the tendency of the world, whether to follow a habitual way to follow into again the world of samsara, or find a real refuge in awareness where non-suffering is clear. Okay. I think I spoke enough for this evening. Thank you very much for listening to me.